You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
I feel like so much happens in Dolphins or in the Dolphins world at once that what the initial plan for today's episode was going to be is just basically no longer relevant, because as Dolphins fans, as a Dolphins podcast, we've had bearded Tua, hooded Tua, all this kind of, various versions of Tua. And now we've got like clapback Tua. Clapback Tua is ready to hurt someone. Before we really dive into that and I ask how you are. Once again, shout out to Moyo TV, who had my back in the comments of the last video saying that, he's not a movie person either. He hasn't seen Indiana Jones, Rocky, Jaws. But then I believe he said he hasn't seen The Godfather. And I was like,
no, he said Goodfellas.
Okay.
I think he said Goodfellas.
Wherever it is.
Hold on. I hope it's not Godfather, bro. It better be Goodfellas.
Let me double check.
I think everybody's seen one of the Godfathers, bro.
Yeah, I was just like, let's have a look. Yeah, I thought it was. This is annoying. I thought it was I've got The Godfather, but you're right, it might have been Goodfellas. Either way, they're two classic movies, and again,
yeah,
I'm not a movie person, but even I know they're classics. But yeah, how are you,
bro? Kadeem, you just berated me on. Oh, we could have went to my. By the way, it's a primetime episode for a primetime podcast because Charlie Touche was late. My apologies to my co-host Kadeem Simmons. For those who don't know, my co-host is born and raised in London. He still lives in London now. And when we record, it's a 5-hour time zone difference. And I'm actually kind of late. So this is a primetime episode for a primetime podcast. It's like 3:00 in the morning over there, Kadeem?
Yeah.
So yeah, I apologize for running a little late, bro. But you just gave me we could have did this tomorrow. And then Kadeem, you opened the show with one day and everything is not even relevant no more. We got to do this now, bro.
It was The Godfathers.
All right, Moya TV, we gave you a birthday shout out, but you tripping, bro. Like you gotta see at least one of the Godfathers, bro. You gotta see at least one of them. That's it.
But yeah, how are you?
I'm good, man. A lot of stuff going on. I'm still getting right over here. There's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond but across the world. I'm your boy Charlie Touche. I got my co-host Kadeem Simmons with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. When I tell you it's for the fans or by the fans, man, we fans like from two different parts of the world, not two different parts of the country, not two different parts of Miami, not two different parts of like North America, South America. My dog is in London, England, born and raised. For those who don't know, I met Kadeem in 2017 at the day before the Miami Dolphins versus the Saints game when we got blown out. But yeah, man, like for the fans, by the fans. What's up, man? Like I'm ready, bro. Clap back Tua. Clap back Tua, bro. Listen, come on, man.
It's funny. So the initial plan behind this episode was to look at Mike McDaniel talking about Mike Gesicki, doing well in the run game with his one blocking and stuff like that. And then there was a quote from Albert Wilson, which I believe he gave to Perform. And Albert Wilson said, or along the lines of, playing in Miami last season was the strangest year of football he's ever had. but he said that, players had to walk single file down the hallway. Nobody was talking. Everyone was on pins and needles. And that was going to be like, and not just that. And then you had Tua come out and say that basically the playbook last year didn't allow him to throw downfield because it was basically one read plays. And if that one read wasn't there, then the play was dead. So that could be the whole, again, to further the sabotage. But 24 hours later, Tua were just like, nah, you guys don't know anything yet. So before we really delve into that, what did you make of what Wilson said and also what Tua said?
I'm glad you brought this up because we're going to do this on air. Sherrod Steve's supposed to be on the next episode. We not sure if we're going to have him, but if Sherrod Steve is on the next episode, it should be fun because what you just mentioned, one read, and if it's not there, it's a wrap. So for everyone getting mad at Tua for, you can't take that sack right there. Again, there's so many more people to get mad at before you got mad at Tua for taking a sack. That one was given up by a right tackle. You know what I'm saying? So you could have got mad at the O-line. Turns out you could have got mad at the OC. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you still shouldn't take the sack. But at the same time, bro, I'm not getting on this man's head about taking the sack that the O-line gave up. Turns out the O-line and the OC was in cahoots with the head coach and then set my quarterback up. So like, listen, I'll never forget that maybe it was the Tennessee game. I don't remember. No, can't remember. But there was a read where he took a sack that we really didn't need him to take, and it was there, kind of. Like it was kind of there. Like you telling me you got one read plays that this quarterback that is one of the most studied quarterbacks in the league, that he studies his playbook, studies. That's all he does is study. Y'all giving this man one read. He can't even audible at the line. He has to run the play that isn't even a real play that we ran in Optimus. Shout out to my Optimus team that went undefeated. You know what I'm saying? Had to plug that in there.
We'll get to that in bonus time.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like y'all giving this man an Optimus playbook. You know what I'm saying? And then you wonder why he's not putting in extra time. He don't need the extra time because there's only one read plays. And I can't audible out of it. What I need to study for? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, walking in the building in a single file line. No, hit me out. You know the last time I walked in single file somewhere?
Picking up a Starbucks or McDonald's or something.
No. That's different. That's waiting in line. I'm talking about walking.
No, I know. Yeah, but like
bro.
Yeah.
The last time I was told I have to walk in line was probably elementary school. What y'all call it over there?
That probably primary school.
Primary school. Like that was probably the last time I walked single file in a line because I had to. Primary school for you, elementary school for me, bro. You know who else walk in single file lines?
Prison mates.
People in prison walk in single file lines. So you telling me this game that I love since I was 4 years old, been playing all kind of football, ended up being a 5-star recruit, going to a D1 college, not getting paid in college. And then when I finally get to the NFL, NIL kicks in and you can start getting money some type of way. I got to walk in a single file line. I got 3 kids and I make $4 million a year, but I got to walk in a single file line and I can't talk. Everybody who left the Dolphins or didn't want to be here, I have no problem with them right now, bro. During the Flores era.
Yeah.
Like, I have no problem with them, bro. Straight up.
It's
Minkah Fitzpatrick, remember that? I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if I did say anything bad about Minkah. I think I call him, I probably did. Yeah, I probably call him something. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem with Minkah Fitzpatrick no more. Straight up.
Like, people talk about, the strict regime that Bill Belichick wants. We've never heard that. We've never heard, like Belichick runs a tight ship. But I don't understand what you benefit from that. And you see pictures of Tua and the other players happy and smiling and stuff like that, you can honestly see why. Like, imagine just like, and if everyone's walking on pins and needles and like probably scared to say anything, don't be wrong, people weren't scared to come out as unnamed sources against Tua, but the whole thing is just, you know, and the 3 years we had under Brian Flores, we didn't realize how bad it was. When he left, when he lost his job, he was seen as a favorite to get a head coaching job. And when he didn't get one, obviously the lawsuit played a part. But it's also probably a case of, players just going, it's a nightmare playing under him. And it would be very interesting to see what the future holds for Brian Flores as a NFL head coach, whether he gets another job. But this ain't about him no more. It's just fascinating what comes to light, 12 months after the fact, I guess.
Kadeem, and I'm ready for someone to say, oh, well, why are we just now finding out about this? We never heard this before. No one else ever said nothing about it. You know why, Kadeem?
Because of probably out of a job?
Nah, because no grown man wants to admit to having to work in these conditions. No grown man wants to say, yeah, man, we used to have to walk in a single file line here. Like, you allowed that to happen? You know what I'm saying? That's why no one's going to come out and say that. That's still in the building. No one wants you to know that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to I think I see 12. That's his at on social media. Shout out to Albert Wilson, man. I seen dog skating on the electric skateboard. I really wanted to run up on him, but I was going down State Road 84 in the opposite direction he was going. It would have took too much stalker vibes for me to go. It would have took too much stalker vibes for me to track down Albert Wilson back in the day. Well, not back in the like it was like last year. But yeah, man. Shout out to Albert Wilson, man. That's wild, Kadeem.
When I saw it, I was just like, he can't be talking about, Miami. And again, not to harp on too long about this, but that's probably why after that Titans game, everything just, everything blew up. Because it's like, look what you have us doing, and you can't even get, your own house in order. Like, the game, like, you have us acting like prison inmates, and yet you're acting like a bad guard. Like, this is stupid. Like, how do you not have a game plan for a must-win game at the end of the season? And again, people, I saw someone on social media, I can't remember who it was, say that last season Tua had more OC than he did have reads in these plays, and that is stupid. You have two offensive coordinators, and between them, they can draw up one read a play. In the last video, I asked to leave in the comments how many touchdowns you could throw, in an NFL season. We would have been given the Miami Dolphins playbook. They would have said to us, you can't play quarterback in the NFL, so here's your read. And if it's not there, throw it away. That's what they would have said to us. And they said to the quarterback with like one of the best college careers of all time. They said to him, yeah, this is what you have to do. The whole, wow.
The more when you just said that just hurt my heart, bro. That my and then he can't even fend off everybody that's coming at his dome. Like, it's really like, listen, shout out to Cam Hayward.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cam Hayward for giving us bulletin board material for week 7 is when the Pittsburgh Steelers come to Miami, I think.
My birthday, week 7, October 23rd.
So that's the Steelers game. You already got it locked in.
Yeah.
Shout out to Cam Hayward. Week 7, Pittsburgh comes to Miami, and Cam Hayward was on the Mina Kimes show talking about, I don't see what the fuss is about Miami. Like, they got a quarterback that he said something. I don't want to preface his comments, but he basically, I don't see what the fuss is about. They got a quarterback that couldn't do it before. Why can't he do it now? It's something like he said it.
It was like they have a quarterback who they wanted to trade, and now they say the face of the franchise. Like, make it make sense, basically.
That's what he said. He said they had a quarterback that they wanted to trade, but now they say he's the face of the franchise. Make it make sense. I cannot wait to retorch Cam Hayward, Minka Fitzpatrick, and Brian Flores all of them play defense.
I was just gonna say, like,
all of them are on the defensive side of the ball.
Like, it's a situation where you're a Steelers player, you play in the AFC North. Why is Tua in your brain in this interview? I haven't seen the full interview, but why talk about the Dolphins and Tua?
So I think he's trying to make his transition into a analyst post football, and he's before today I consider him pretty good. You know what I'm saying? He's all right, but now I reserve my judgment on his analyst career. But you know what I'm saying? I think he's trying to make his transition, so he's trying to like just talk about more things than just the Steelers. I guess you know what I'm saying? I don't take it out of a vacuum, but yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. Because we're only going to have like one loss by then. And y'all going to be the sixth win of the season.
And it'll be interesting to see how Kenny Pickett gets on. Because, yeah. But again, you know, the less said about them, who cares? Before we really delve into what happened, you know, on the last or the latest day in training camp and stuff, shout out to Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I was going to go there, bro.
I was going to
go there, bro. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I don't want to say it's a shame because he had a well-storied NFL career. Again, sorry to whoever said this on social media, but they said, you know, where would the Dolphins be without Ryan Fitzpatrick? And there's an argument to be made, and I'm not making an argument, but people will make the argument that without Ryan Fitzpatrick, the Dolphins probably have Joe Burrow as quarterback because he won too many games in a season where he didn't have to win any games. But he gave us Tua, who as fans, some fans as a podcast we love. And again, when you to bring back to Brian Flores and stuff like that, when you think about the way he lost his job in Miami, he didn't deserve that. He was playing with basically you and I and the Go Time Dolphins, you know, fans, and they just said, "Yeah, we're phoning the new kid who wasn't ready," and he had to find out through the media.
Talking about a long con, like the con was, I don't want Tua, so let me start the sabotage by putting him in for Ryan Fitzpatrick, who is about to take us to the playoffs. Talking about sabotage. This is how deep the long con goes for Brian Flores, who we thought was like, yo, I like Brian Flores, which I still did. Like, yo, before all of it came out. Brian Flores said, all right, I'm going to put Tua in when he's not ready. Take out Ryan Fitzpatrick, even though we're on track to go to the playoffs. Tua gets in. No one knows. Everyone finds out on TV, including all the players, including your OC that should be preparing your quarterback. It's the wildest thing, bro. No other team goes through this, bro. No other team does this except for our team, right? So to properly give this man the send-off he's supposed to have, Ryan Fitzpatrick, bro, we appreciate you. He has never went to the playoffs, I think.
No, he hasn't, no.
Never went to the playoffs, and that team with the Dolphins, he would have been his first playoff time. And then you never know what could have happened with Ryan Fitzpatrick in there. And I'll ask you, but I got my favorite memory of Ryan Fitzpatrick, bro.
Yeah, my favorite memory would be a Thursday night game against the Raiders.
Bro, you can't take my memory. I just said I got mine. I'm going to ask you, bro. Like, you took my memory.
Again, this is why I'm your co-host. But it's, you know, it's a game in which, and again, it's sabotage. Tua's pulled. It's like, again, what are we doing here? But that no look, you know, helmet over your eyes pass and that drive, and, you know, me being up at like 4:30 in the morning going, I need to go to sleep, but I can't go to sleep. And, you know, and even that game then spawns into us talking to Myles Gaskin about it. Listen, I'm not the most religious person, but even I've got to admit, the Lord works in mysterious ways.
We appreciate you, Ryan Fitzpatrick. And everyone with a 14 jersey that had the Landry jerseys, like I would take the Landry name off of it and put Fitz Magic on it, and it'll be a novelty jersey and it'll live forever in Dolphins allure. That's crazy, man. Like, man, Man, that's my dog. Connor Williams. What you make of that? What you make of Connor Williams saying, yo, I've only been practicing that center?
We discussed it on the pod when it
Kind
came
of
up.
basically saying I've only been practicing that center.
Yeah, he basically said as far as he knows, he will go into preseason at center. It's one of those things where when we picked him up, we assumed he was going to be the starting left guard. He's played left guard basically his entire NFL career. So like, okay, to run Armstead left tackle, Conor Williams left guard, we assume Michael D to center. Now the Dolphins, without saying that was a draft need, basically said it was a draft need at center. I do wonder if the Conor Williams acquisition was always going to be center, which is why they may have. I don't say passed on players at center, but may not have been as aggressive as we would have wanted them to be because they had a plan all along, or whether they've started, OTAs and stuff like that, and for what Mike McDaniel wanted to do in Miami, I just said, you know what, Conor Williams is probably, the better fit. I'm gonna hold judgment until I see what it's like against actual NFL competition before I potentially, not like the move. Put it that way.
I don't think it was our intention. Free agency plays out one way, the draft plays out another way. I think you have plan A through Z in the offseason. This is our plan A. This is our plan B. This is our plan Y and Z. You know what I'm saying? All A through Z. And, however the draft falls, however free agency falls, maybe you get a chance to get Tyreek Hill. Maybe you get a chance to get Deebo Samuel. Maybe you get a chance to get both. You have no idea how free agency and the draft is going to play out. So I seriously doubt Connor Williams was an acquisition to play center. I think it happened like that, which I'm okay with if it happened like that. If it was the plan, I don't like it. Here's my problem though, Kadeem. We had a Connor Williams, basically a free agency frenzy where it was like, hey, and I can't remember the numbers exactly, but I think, and this is, don't take this to the bank, I think Connor Williams had about 1,000 snaps in the NFL so far in his career, and 800 of them were at like left guard. Something like that. It's something in the realm of that. No, bro. I do not want to see Connor Williams anywhere but left guard. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to kick him out the tackle. I don't want to kick him into center. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. And what does this mean for the line now? Does that mean Teron Armstead at left guard, Teron Armstead at left tackle, Solomon Kinley at left guard, Connor Williams at center, Robert Hunt at right guard, Austin Jackson or Eichenberg at right tackle? Or does it mean Eichenberg at left guard, Austin Jackson at left guard, and the other at right tackle? What we do know is we could definitively say this. The offensive line got better. The receivers got better. And the running back room got better. This is definitive. We can truly say that. Here's my problem, Kadeem. What's more important? Offensive line or receivers? Just on a whim. Just throw it out there. What do you think is more important?
Offensive line.
Offensive line. I preach offensive line. I love, we need to get DBs. We need to get D-line. We need to get O-line. We need to get receivers. Bro, but listen, we need to get running backs. It's the most glamorous position in football. You know what I'm saying? You cannot neglect your offensive line. And I'm not saying that I dislike the moves at all. I'm not saying that. But I am saying I would have put more into my O-lines and my O-line instead of my receivers. Am I happy that we got Waddle paired with Tyreek Hill? 100%. I'm on air talking about, the Raiders paid too much for Devontae Adams. But if the Dolphins would have did it, I would have said the same thing. However, I would have been happy with it. I said that on air. I also said, would you trade for Deebo Samuel and the same package? No, I wouldn't. So in essence, I mean the same thing about Tyreek Hill. I would not trade what we traded for Tyreek Hill, but I'm happy we did it. Like, yo, there's multiple ways to get to the desired address. You know what I'm saying? So when you go on your, shout out to Josh Casker, told me, MapQuest ain't a thing no more. When you go on the Google Maps or your maps on your phone, it gives you multiple routes you could take to your destination. There isn't one route you can take to get to a Super Bowl. You don't have to have the best offense in the league to get to a Super Bowl. You can have the best defense in the league to make it to the Super Bowl. So my thing is, yeah, we got Tyreek Hill, we got Waddle, we got to improve receiving core. And if you listen to the last episode, I think we have the second best receiving core in the league. Kadeem believes we have a top 3 receiving core in the league. So there, you don't. If you're a Dolphin fan, if you're a football fan, you can't say we don't have a top 5 receiving core. You can't say that. So at the least, we have a top 5 receiving core. Problem is, we had a 32nd ranked O-line. So it don't matter what your receivers look like. If you had the 32nd ranked O-line, do we have the 32nd ranked O-line right now? Absolutely not. But for my sake, Kadeem, I'd rather have the second best O-line in the league instead of the second best receiving core in the league. And we had our chance to do that. For example, and I'm not saying I'm going for this and pushing for this or anything, but had you took Lyle Collins and Amari Cooper, you know what I'm saying, instead of Tyreek Hill and Connor Williams or Teron Armstead, you feel me? Or matter of fact, you could have had Lyle Collins and Teron Armstead at the same time, but had Amari Cooper instead of Tyreek Hill. You feel me?
But then that doesn't change the fact that they picked up a left guard and have moved him into center.
What I'm saying is, Kadeem, you had a chance to have the second best O-line in the league on paper. You had a chance to have Lyle Collins and Teron Armstead on the same team. You wouldn't have gotten Tyreek Hill, but you could have gotten Amari Cooper. You see what I'm saying? Like, I would not have been mad at that. And I don't want to go too far back to start unraveling stuff. I'm not trying to do that. But what I am saying is, we have a top 5 receiving core now. But what does that say about our O-line? What is our O-line going to look like? It's not as a fortress as everyone think it is right now. It looked pretty good on film, but you switching people who've had 1,000 snaps at a position and 200 at a different position, and then putting a left tackle at right tackle and telling them protect our franchise. I don't appreciate that. I still think we'll go 12-5 at minimum, but that's not smooth, bro. It's not guaranteed, bro. We can have O-line problems right now. Once you start moving people out of their natural position.
Yeah, but again, I remember when this first came up a good few weeks ago, because I remember saying on this show that the Cowboys looked at Connor Williams at center. Like, even if you Google Connor Williams center, there's like stories from 2020, the Cowboys looking to play Connor Williams at center, and then again taking reps at center in 2021. So I remember saying that the Cowboys at least looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
They've also had a better offensive line than us, so they never, did it. But I'm sure like he's taken snaps at center. I'm not the biggest fan of it. But listen, I'd rather them at least trial it in May than to do it for the first time in September. And I think Mike McDaniel has said that about this offensive line as well. It's like, yeah, they will look at other guys in different positions and stuff like that. Because he also, at the moment, I reckon if the season was to start tomorrow, I reckon friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson, would be right tackle, because that's what Mike McDaniel has said, that he's liked the look of Austin Jackson at right tackle, which then the question is, who's your left guard? Is it Liam Eichenberg or is it Solomon Kindley?
I'm gonna be real with you. My bad.
No. There wasn't really about, to be fair.
I'm gonna be real with you. As of right now, Liam Eichenberg is a second round Jesse Davis. That's not good, bro. You know what I'm saying? He could. What you looking at me like that for, Kadeem? I'm gonna tell you why. Oh no, go ahead.
I'm sure you've on the podcast said that Liam Eichenberg as a potential sixth man isn't necessarily a bad thing.
That's it's not a bad thing. I didn't say it was a bad thing. I didn't say being a second round Jesse Davis was a bad thing. I'm just saying, why pick up Jesse Davis in the second round is what I'm saying. Like, yo, if you have relegated Liam Eichenberg to the best six man in the league, you know, for better whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a six man and he's a utility player now. You didn't have to pay a second round premium to get a great utility player, and he's not
a different
great.
coaching staff.
Is it? Hold on. We'll get there. But he's not even a great six man yet. You know what I'm saying? He was the worst O lineman on the league, on the team. He was actually worse than Jesse Davis, bro. That's factual. Liam Eichenberg, for whatever reason, whether he was moved to left or moved to right or whatever reason we have, he was actually the worst offensive lineman on our league and on our team last year. So it's not all sweet right now with Liam Eichenberg. And if we want to be real, we just had a receiver episode last episode, and not only did we agree that we have a top 3 receiving core, we have a very deep receiving core. Our O-line is not deep like that. Yes, we have Solomon Kinley. Yes, we have Liam Eichenberg. Solomon Kinley has his weight issues. Eichenberg was technically the worst on our O-line last year. This is not great. Austin Jackson, friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson is moving positions. He is going to be a right tackle for the first time in probably 6 years. True story. You know what I'm saying? Connor Williams is about to be a center who has only took 200 snaps outside of, or has taken about 800 snaps in left guard. This is not comfortable to me. You know what I'm saying? This does not tell me, oh, you improve O-line, this should be a top 15 O-line. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate it. I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just saying I don't love it, bro. I'm not happy for my quarterback who is supposed to be the franchise, and that everyone has said, oh, Tua ain't got no more excuses, which I obviously don't agree with. If this is a make or break year for Tua, give me the second best O-line and not the second best receiving core. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think I'm just more of the belief that, yeah, this coaching staff didn't draft Liam Eichenberg. The previous one did, and they've come in and said, okay, what's best for Liam Eichenberg in our system? And in our system, it might be him at left guard. Same way in our system, the best fit for Austin Jackson might be right tackle. I'm very intrigued what has happened to Michael Dieter, because again, this was a player who the Dolphins came out publicly and said that they had, draft, or they had, trade offers for Michael Dieter. And it's like, we assumed they kept him because he was going to be the starting center. So if he's not your starting center in the nicest possible way, I understand he's there for depth. But I understand that, Connor Williams still might kick out to left guard and Dieter might be the center. But you could have moved him on and potentially drafted his replacement.
Here's the problem, Kadeem. I don't know. This is the thing. We don't know if we could have drafted his replacement. We don't know if things didn't fall right the way that we wanted to, but we do know this is where we are. So we don't know if this was scripted, but we know this is one of the plans A through Z. We don't know if it was plan A, B, or C. I gotta imagine it wasn't. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think this was plan A, B, or C. This is like plan M. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is somewhere in the middle where it's not catastrophic, but it's not terrible. So here's my thing, Kadeem. Let's just go through the O-line off the top of our domes, because we didn't know we were going to go in depth like this. But off the top of our dome, Teron Armstead, we'll call it Solomon Kinley at left guard, Connor Williams at center, friend of the podcast, Robert Hunt, and Austin Jackson at right tackle. I kind of like Austin Jackson at right tackle in the scheme because it's going to be a power running scheme. Like, Bro, I love it when Austin Jackson is like pushing people around after the play, like mad. You know what I'm saying? I love that. You know what I'm saying? So I think running more for him is going to be better. Who are your 3 O linemen that you keeping now? You know what I'm saying? Because you're probably going to keep 8 O linemen. You got your starting 5. Who are the 3? You're going to probably keep obviously Liam Eichenberg. He's your 6th. We'll say Robert Jones.
Yeah.
And Larnell Coleman.
I think it's a toss-up between him and Michael Dieter.
I thought, all right. We'll say Michael Dieter. That's perfect. Liam Eichenberg, Robert Jones, Michael Dieter, right?
Yeah.
So if you're only keeping 3 linemen, if your center gets hurt, you don't even have a backup center. Michael if you let Dieter. Go, yeah, but if you would have moved on from Michael Dieter. So we're not moving on from Michael Dieter without another plan, a backup plan. Whether it's get a real center and have Dieter as a backup, but you're not moving on from Michael Dieter and if Connor Williams starting center. You know what I'm saying? My problem is if Michael Dieter starts center, Connor Williams starts guard, you still don't have a backup center. You see what I'm saying? This is why center could have been addressed, should have been, but at least in one area or the other. Maybe it wasn't a starting center, but you needed depth at center, right? So now here's my thing. Right tackle is Tua's blind side. You know what I'm saying? Like right tackle is legit Tua's blind side, and your backup right tackle is literally the worst right tackle on the team last year. Although everyone wants to think Jesse Davis was the worst, technically Eichenberg was the worst. So this is not sit well with me. You know what I'm saying?
The only comeback I will have to that is the way we rightfully say that, you know, you can't judge Tua when or the more we learn about things, you know, we can't judge Tua when he's basically running a one read, you know, playbook and stuff like that. I don't think you kind of got to give the same to the offensive line. Like, it's harsh to blame, you know, the failures of Liam Eichenberg and, you know, that there was no development in sending the pass cards, Austin Jackson, all that kind of stuff, when the offensive line coaching probably was just as bad. Hence why they've had, So that's again, and you know, the same way on this podcast, we went into last season going, this offensive line is going to be amazing because Solomon Kinley was going to have a second-year jump after his first season.
Everybody.
Yeah. And Robert Hunt was the only one who had that jump. So that's why I'm like, I'm not blindly putting my faith in this offensive line staff and the coaching staff to dramatically improve this offensive line. Don't get me wrong. It's not difficult to even improve this offensive line given how bad it was. But, you know, if these guys believe that at the moment, with what they have, the best course of action is Michael Dieter at center and stuff like that, I'm going to go, do you know what? Okay, because I guess we're looking at, you know, these wide receiver clips and Tua throwing to all these guys and going, this looks great. And we obviously haven't seen the offensive line, but I'm going to give the offensive line that same, you know what? I'm sure they're doing great as well. Obviously, yeah. And that's why I said I'm not going to judge it until we see it up against, you know.
And then it'll be too late if it's bad, bro. Because everybody's going to say, oh, Tua ain't it. He got Waddle and Tyreek Hill and an improved receiving core. And then he's going to be taking 40 sacks. And then it's going to be, oh, Tua's not the guy.
I'm more than happy to disagree and keep on going back and forth. Because again, it's too late. But if after 2 preseason games, you go, do you know what? Connor Williams center is not the answer. You know what we're going to do? We're going to go and try and trade for someone. Or it might be a case where JC Tretter is the answer at center, but he's like, I'm not coming in right now. So it's like, okay, until you come in, it's going to be Connor Williams at center. You know,
So it's to move on, because this could be a whole episode.
Yeah.
But to move on, it kind of coincides with the O-line. Cedric Wilson had his media availability today, and he said Omar Kelly was talking to him about basically why the offense has up days and down days, and why the defense was so dominant in a particular practice that just happened.
It was day
And-
one.
Okay. So
Yeah.
So kind of Cedric Wilson says, bro, we're installing the offense. And I've been on this podcast multiple times, and I tell the people the significance of learning a new offense with a new offensive coordinator. It takes an entire season, one whole football season, to install an entire offense. Not an off season. It takes a whole season for everyone to get comfortable with an offensive system. So what happens is you see the growth the next season. You know what I'm saying? Like, so people like, all right, we'll give this quarterback a year because he just learned a new season. That's universal. That's not just Tua. This is, Kirk Cousins went from Washington to Minnesota. Oh, Kirk Cousins didn't show what he showed. We'll give him a year. You know what I'm saying? It takes a whole year to learn a new system. Let's learn the system. For Tua to have 6 OCs in 4 years or 5 years or whatever it's been now. You know what I'm saying? Like every year you get an OC, and this is not just for Tua. This is for the entire offense. For your offense to be stagnant or the lackluster, it's like, yo, they're still learning the offense. So here goes Cedric Wilson, like, yo, we literally sit for 3 hours and learn the offense that we're about to run 30 minutes later on the field. And we get out of class and we go line up and run the plays we just learned 30 minutes ago. How do you expect that offense to be dominant against a top 15 defense, which the Dolphins were last year, a top 15 defense? In essence, it probably could be a top 10 this year, right? So how do you expect someone to go from a classroom, literally, this is not even hyperbole no more. How do you expect a team to go from a classroom to learning the plays, learning where to line up, learning the calls, learning the verbiage, and then walking out to a football field 30 minutes later and going up against the best DBs in the league? Now imagine this is June 1st or ish. I don't know what day it is no more. I don't know. But it's the beginning of June. And it's less than 100 days, literally, until the season starts. How do you think that translates when you're still learning the offense to the first game of the season where you have to play Bill Belichick led defense? This is football. You know what I'm saying? So this is not new. This is not something that no one ever had to encounter. This is what it is. This is why you hope that there's no turnover in your building with O-line coaches or quarterback coaches, not quarterback coaches, but more OCs and head coaches. You don't want that turnover because it sets back your team. So now Mike McDaniel, shout out to Mike McDrip, has to come in with this playoff team that's supposed to go to the playoffs and get his guys ready for New England, Buffalo, and Baltimore. And Cedric Wilson just sat here and said in the first week of June, bro, we don't know none of the plays. Relax. We don't know the verbiage. Relax. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not Madden. You know what I'm saying? I say it all the time. This is not Madden. You know what I'm saying? So I don't love it, but I still think we can go 12-5 at a minimum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think the players in the building will be like, yeah, we had a bad day offensively, but we're learning. And even when they're having bad day offensively, the next day it sounds like things improved, which is now we're hearing, the deep throws from Tua to Tyreek Hill. That connection seemed like it's coming along very nicely. And yeah, I wouldn't. Like I said, it's June 1st, 2nd, 3rd. I'm not worried about how minicamp is going right now. When there's issues in late August, I'm like, okay, no, maybe there's cause for concern. But overall, it's, as Allen Iverson voice, practice. Like we're talking about practice. Like, come on, guys. But again, it's fun. I guess it's exciting. It provides content for newspapers, for podcasts, for radio shows, for all that kind of stuff. So, just got to deal with it. And to segue into what Tua said, Tua dealing with it by saying, you guys aren't in practice. You guys aren't seeing what we're doing. You guys,
nah, don't do that. Tell him what he really said. He didn't say you guys. He said the Twitter warriors.
keyboard warriors, yeah.
He said Twitter warrior. Oh, he said he was it Twitter warriors? I think he said both.
Yeah, he probably did. And that's the thing. It's like
Keyboard warriors. I love it.
So you kind of start off with what with Mike McDaniel saying about, and Mike McDaniel in a Mike McDaniel way saying that, like, to me he was taking a shot at quarterbacks who throw 80 yards, because he's like, quarterbacks aren't meant to throw 80 yards. If your quarterback is throwing 80 yards, that means that he can't anticipate where the wide receiver is going to be. So he has to wait an extra few seconds to throw the ball extra yards, because he can't see the play developing. And he was like, one of the things about Tua and what we're doing at the moment is that we only need him to throw 50, 55, 60 yards, and that's what he's done. And that throw to Tyreek Hill was on the money, because Tua knows what he's doing. All this whole Tua can't throw deep stuff. No, he can. Last season he wasn't allowed to. This year he will be allowed to. And
nor did he have the time. He can. And he didn't have the time to. And McDaniel actually alluded to that, saying you need time to throw it 65 yards. Your O-line has to block. You know what I'm saying? And I could just say it again. If you have the 32nd ranked O-line in the league, you probably don't have enough time. You know what I'm saying? So McDaniel also said he was waiting for Tua to have a bad day, like, so he could see how he responded. Like, and Tua wasn't having like enough bad days for McDaniel to see how Tua responds in adversity. So Tua actually had a subpar practice, and then Mike McDaniel said, I was excited to see a subpar practice finally. You know what I'm saying? Because now I got to see how he would respond. And it turns out he responded. He was down on himself for ball placement, and then responded with 2 deep balls. And I love it.
Definitely. And I think even so, the clip of Tua, speaking about, because he even says, I think her name is Anna. It might be like the Dolphins PR person, and it's like she tells him the bad negative stuff I said about him. He's like, why are you telling me this for? Like, I don't care. Like, I block it out. But he's like, she has to tell me, because it's the questions that you guys are going to ask. But I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he was like, you guys saw that throw to Tyreek Hill. He's like, it was money. Like, what do you want me to do? And you then you then had Jalen Waddle on social media say, like, talk crap to them Oos. And again, it's like, it's like Tyreek Hill tweets that basically, if you haven't heard from the source, then it's not true. And listen, there's going to be people who turn around and say, well, there was no on-rushing defenders, so of course he's gonna get the money and stuff like that. To all those people that say that, go watch the clips of a certain quarterback in Cleveland throwing interception after interception after interception when there's no pass rush or anything like that. I'm telling you now, yeah. And again, we know that Tua gets some unfair criticism and stuff like that. But social media and the media in general are silent about the quarterback poor play in Cleveland. But one underthrown pass in Miami gets 7 million views. Listen, you guys are just, I'm not going to say get a life, because NFL football is your life. But there's other stuff to talk about than Miami Dolphins football. Like, guys, come on, man. Like, leave the Miami Dolphins stuff for us. This is what we do. We don't get paid for it, but this is what we do. It's 20 to 4 in the morning, and this is what I'm doing. You don't need to discuss it. Let us discuss it. It's fine. And very, very quickly, we spoke about the bad day that the Dolphins offense have. The Dolphins player, or highlight. Oh my days. The best Dolphins player in practice, basically.
Orange jersey.
Orange jersey. Friend of the podcast, Javon Holland. We talk about, certain players having, breakout years this year. Friend of the podcast, Javon Holland, is going to be a problem. A massive problem. and I cannot wait for it.
I love it when I see mocks and people trying to give Dolphins a safety to trade for. Like, bro, just because y'all don't know our safeties don't mean we don't love our safeties, bro. Shout out to friend of the podcast, Brandon Jones, and friend of the podcast, Javon Holland. Man, we ready. I trust my DBs. I'm ready for my DBs. Look, man.
Oh,
Jalen,
actually, so I'm glad you said that. So that 50 to 50-yard pass to Tyreek Hill, which the Dolphins did record. Do you know who the DB was on that play?
in practice,
Yeah.
the Noah.
We said a few weeks ago how Tua was throwing these deep balls and there's no DBs in sight.
Mm-hmm.
I will give credit to Noah for
No problem. No, hey, listen. All right. So it could go either way. Everyone could say, "Oh, it was on Noah Benogany." You know what I'm saying? But I will say this: all these clips that we've been seeing of these bombs and passes in practice, there hasn't been no one in the picture. Like no one is in the picture. Noah was not only in the picture, he couldn't be. The only other thing he could have did was PI.
Yeah.
That was it. He was draped on Tyreek Hill. The ball was in the only place you could put it. Ball placement. Everyone knows Tua is probably a top 5-7 in accuracy in the NFL. Like no one can't take, he's not accurate. All right. Now y'all just making stuff up. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Noah. Iron sharp as iron. Like I'm putting Noah on Tyreek Hill in practice every day. Get better, bro.
Yeah.
Get better. Get better. Get better. Everybody isn't Tyreek Hill when you go into the league. You feel me? So yeah, man, that's iron sharp as iron. That's how you get better. Jalen Waddle jersey giveaway. It's coming up real soon. Make sure y'all get y'all answers in there. Hit us up. GoTimeDolphins@gmail.com. Tell us Jalen Waddle's total receptions in his rookie season, and also who he scored his first touchdown against. And you can enter in a Jalen Waddle jersey giveaway, and it's coming up. So y'all go ahead and do that. Before we get up out of here, salute Frank Gore, retired officially. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you. Appreciate you down here in the state of Florida and Miami. But y'all know what time it is. Stay positive. Test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. All right.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time.
I owe you an apology. When I'm wrong, I admit I'm wrong. When I'm never wrong, even when I'm wrong, I'm right. But I'm gonna apologize anyway.
What you got?
Last episode, you did say email gotimedolphins@gmail.com. So I said I'll go back and watch it, and if I was wrong, I would apologize. So I did that. I'm still waiting for my apology on the schedule episode, but it's fine. I've now accepted that I'm never going to get that apology, and I'm never going to get that apology because you can't admit that I was right. But it's fine.
You know what I thought you was apologizing for? Because apparently you have to apologize for more than one thing.
What's that?
Because I went back to an episode, and it was the Mike Gesicki episode, and I'm like, you know what? Let me. I know what Kadeem said. He said, Mike Gesicki, da. Charlie, if you said I said that, then I said that. I'm not going to argue with you, mate. Like, bruh, like, just own it, bruh. So, for those who don't know, y'all heard the last episode. Me and Kadeem went back and forth about what he said and didn't say. Listen, Kadeem, this is the funniest thing. I went to the episode, and it was at the exact mark where you said, I'm like, yo, that means I was listening to it already, right? I left it right here. It was episode 164 for our faithful listeners. At the 47-minute and 30-second mark, all the way up to 52 minutes of the episode, Kadeem is like, yo, Mike Gesicki's not getting $15 million a year. He's not gonna reset the market. and look at what Dallas Goedert got. I'm like, Kadeem, bro, y'all trying my dog, man. My dog is going to reset the market at least $15 million. David Njoku comes out, gets 14 million APY. It's setting us up for Gesicki to get 15 at a minimum. But we're not going to be the dead horse. It's cool. I appreciate my apology, though, Kadeem. Thanks.
So you also admit then that I said if I said it, I said it. I don't remember it, which I don't remember saying. I never said I didn't say it.
You was adamant at the time to forget it now. That's all I'm saying.
But even now, I don't remember saying it. So I literally said, I don't remember saying it. But if I said it, then I said it. You can't get angry at me for not remembering what I didn't say or what I said. Sorry.
You got the Josh Kasker picture?
I do. Bear me 2 secs. If you explain the picture, and I will bring it up.
Yeah, man. So this around this time last year, we had Josh Kasker from the Same Old Dolphins show come on to this podcast around this time last year. It was probably like within a week or so of this time last year, right? And he came on it was his first time ever on this show, and it was a year ago, and to the week. And it's funny how our growth on this podcast, bro. Like, we started this podcast 2 years ago, and the growth has just been going on and on and on. We've been growing, and it wasn't until last year that we decided to get on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, we appreciate you. Please share, like, subscribe. We rock with y'all in the comments, even on IG at Go Time Dolphins, on Twitter at Go Time Dolphins. We rock with everybody. So shout out to Josh Kasker and the Same Old Dolphins show for, you know what? I almost wore that shirt today on this episode. I'm glad I didn't. That would have been bad.
I was wearing a jumper earlier and I had to take it off. I was like, I now can't wear this jumper because it looked like I haven't changed in a year.
So yeah, man, shout out to Josh Kasker and the Same Old Dolphin show, man. We weren't even on YouTube back then. Look at this. Not only were we weren't anything back then, bro. Like, this is wild. But we got other pictures we're gonna share, Kadeem?
We do, yeah. If you bear me again 2 secs.
All right. So hold up. Let me set this up. So lately we had an episode where X came to the episode. We're talking about sandlot football, and we're talking about goal line stands and don't let nobody score on purpose. No, you got to defend the house, you got to defend the crib. And there's multiple occasions where I was playing sandlot football and I didn't want the other team to score. And someone on my team was like, man, just let them score. And I'm like, bro, you done here. You go play for their team. We don't want you on our team no more. And I was just hot. And sandlot football, you don't really know everybody on the field, Kadeem. Like, it's just a pickup game. So I'm yelling at this dude I don't even know. And I'm like, nah, bro, I can't rock with you on my team, bro. We not letting them in. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up stopping them 4 times straight on the goal line. And I look at dude, and dude looking at me crazy. And we almost fight. But I'm like, all right, we got the ball back, whatever. So we about to share some pictures. If you could share one of the team pictures, Kadeem. This was my team, one of my teams when I played Optimist football. Shout out to, I think his name is Odaris Dahidi. My bad if I messed it up again. But we're talking about Optimist football. And Odaris Dahidi played college football and high school football. And he said Optimist was his favorite time of his life. So that's me in the dead smack center of the.
I knew it was you because that smile, you cannot miss it. Number 37. I looked at the picture, I was like, that's Charlie. I was going to say, let me guess which one is Charlie. Smack bang in the middle, 37, that smile. You cannot miss it.
Listen, man, I'm smack dab. Can we? Yeah, I guess we can't, but I'm smack dab in the middle of the screen, number 37, got the Myles Gaskin jersey number on there. And if you're looking at this picture, 2 people over to the right, number 1 is my dog. His name's Black. And Black passed away, man. We had some epic football teams growing up as Jits. And you about to see that in a couple pictures, man. So it's just a theme. Like, man, it's crazy how there was Felton and Shelton over there. Like, I remember these boys' name. They was twins. But anyway, so shout out to Black, number 1 in the picture. He's 2 people over from me. Let's get another picture up here, another team picture, please. So while we going down memory lane, y'all just seen one of my Optimist football teams. And someone asked me, I forget, it was somebody on the podcast. Like it wasn't on the podcast, but it was in like text message. Like, hey, did you ever play football? Like, are you just a football fan? What do you know about football? All this other good stuff. I'm like, bro, you have no idea. I have 3 brothers. All of us played football when we were 4 years old. Every single one of us started at like 4 years old. You know what I'm saying? I was like the quarterback of this team on a flag football team when I was 4. And my mom says, I don't know how you have these. I don't know how you can remember that. You were 4 years old. And we went to the Super Bowl and we lost. And I was the quarterback, by the way, Kadeem. I'm just saying. So in this picture here, all the way to the right, number 51 at the end of the team, that's me right there. You can see the glasses. Running theme.
I couldn't tell he was in the picture. I was like, I thought you was number 35. I'm not gonna lie, because like I was like, I don't know who you are. I didn't think you was 51. I thought you're 35 in the middle. I was like, I don't know what you find so funny in this photo, but okay, you're 51. Fair enough.
So I'm 51, and if you caught on to something, Kadeem, I used to wear glasses. I wear glasses in all of these pictures. I wore glasses. So I'm 51, all the way at the end, and on the same row, if you go to the left, the third person to the left is my homeboy, number 1, Black. Rest in peace to my boy Black. And it's a running theme here, bro. Go to the next picture, please. So yeah, man. So this is so shout out to the dude who asked me if I actually play football. I'm like, bro, football is my life. Like it's literally. Go ahead.
What picture do you want next?
There's one more team picture, right?
Yeah, the quality wasn't as good.
Yeah, it's not, but we throwing it up. These pictures like 20 over 25 years old. Kadeem, the quality ain't gonna be nothing. Like y'all just gotta have to bear with us here on Go Time Dolphins. And if you're listening on the audio version, whenever you get a chance, check us out on YouTube for this episode. We're going down memory lane. I'm sharing some old football pictures of my old teammates when we were Jits, in pursuit of championships. Man, listen, and not only we got some pictures, we got some newspaper clippings coming up. Newspaper. Do y'all remember what a newspaper is? I know people don't know what a newspaper was. You know what I'm saying? But there was actually newspapers that wrote about the teams that we were on. So this is one of the last pictures coming up. But yeah, shout out to that dude who was like, "Oh, do you play football?" Like, bro, listen. Not only do I play football, my brothers play football. All right. Kadeem got another picture up. All right. So this picture, super blurry. Super blurry. But it's cool. We rocking with it. I'm number 90. And the front row, all the way to the right, third person from the right is me. And right next to me is number 1. That's my dog, Black. Shout out to Black. Rest in peace to Black. Passed away. And it's crazy because everyone knows I made the Go Time Dolphins theme song, and everyone's like, "Oh man, y'all got the best intro." And I appreciate everyone. You could try to you could bring up one of these clips, Kadeem. I appreciate everyone who says, "Yo man, y'all got the best intro." I really do, because I make music and I take my music serious. And one of my older songs, I mentioned Black in one of the songs. It's like a rest in peace to the homie songs. And it's crazy because Black was on every football team that I had growing up. So one of these newspaper clippings we got, right? If you look at the top right, the Miami Herald, October 26, 1993. Boy, we dating ourselves on this podcast, boy.
I would have turned, what, three days after this. No, sorry, 3 days before this.
Yeah, 3 days. You said 3?
Yeah.
Did you try to read any of these, Kadeem?
So the reason I chose this one is because I could read some of it, and it's 2 secs. I've messed it up now. But yeah, this one basically says that you finished basically a perfect 8-0 record, won the last game 7-0. And I think it also says that, yeah, you didn't give up a single point all season.
All right. So Kadeem says me, but it was our team. So the headline of this paper is "Pride of the Patriots, no losses, no points. Man, I'm getting a little water teary-eyed right now. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but listen, it also has my name down there all the way in the bottom right. It has everyone's name mentioned down there. You see Charles Arizari. That's Charlie Touche's real last name. So
Government's out here,
yeah, governments. I'm cool, bro. I'm good. So in the first, I'm not expecting everybody to read this or be able to see it, and I actually can't even read it on the screen. But you could pull up the other one, Kadeem. But in this article, it says this is how it opens. It says normally giving an entire season without losing a game will qualify as an amazing feat. That's exactly what the Miramar Patriots did. But on top of that, their defense did not allow a single point. We went 8-0 in the regular season, did not give up a single point. We ended up playing Carroll City in the division championship, and I thought it was 6-0. Turns out it was 7-0. And the last play of the game, remember I said my dog Nehemiah was my teammate? I remember dude's name. In the article, it mentioned Nehemiah. He made the game saving stop. Dang, this is crazy. I didn't even read this one. Did you get a chance to read this? You know what to say?
Yeah, but again, I only read it just
Yeah. Let's see.
Another win, 7-0. The only score of the game came when the Patriots' Stefan Moss ran the ball in from the 1 yard line. The Patriots' score was set up by a catch that went for 20 yards on the play before. The Patriots' defense held their field scoreless, which means that no team has scored against Miramar the entire year. The 85-pound Patriots face Northside next, with the winner advancing to the Super Bowl. Our toughest game is going to be against Northside. If we get past them, there should be no competition in the Super Bowl, said Miramar head coach Jimmy Montanez.
Yeah, so if you could put up the last clip. Listen, man, shout out to Coach Jimmy Montanez and shout out to his wife, Debbie Montanez. Shout out to the Montanez family. They're going through it right now. And they're like, their family was cool with our family growing up, man. It's just listen, shout out to Coach Jimmy. He was in all those pictures too, Coach Jimmy. But we got one last clip left, and it basically says Optimist football gets big turnout. Not sure where we're mentioning this, but we're not gonna hold y'all up too much. But Kadeem said Optimist is Optimus Prime. But I just wanted to share these clips with y'all. And dang, I went down memory lane. So I don't have to hear Kadeem's voice saying, are you really about that life, Charlie? Did you really play football? You know what I'm saying? Bro, not only did I play, Kadeem, you the one who never even touched the pigskin. You know what I'm saying? Listen, not only did I play, bro, I was on a team that is the most famous team, historic team in Miramar Patriots history. Never got a point scored on us. Ever. Until the Super Bowl, and we lost. But yeah, man, that's all I got, Kadeem. You got something to say?
I genuinely don't. It's I spoke to you after the X episode, and I saw a different side of you. You and X are just chopping up and all that kind of stuff. And once again, I've seen a different side of you. A side reminiscing about your early childhood years playing football. My genuine condolences for losing your friend Blacks. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's genuinely amazing that you've got those memories, those photos, those the newspaper clippings, because not to patronize you, but no one can ever take that away from you, and that is a genuine, amazing achievement.
You gotta stop, man. I'm about to tear up. Listen. I'll be real with you. Not only do I have those, I have this podcast to share it on. You know what I'm saying? So now this lives forever too. So, man, I think, and as you were talking, it registered. I think this is why I am who I am. You know what I'm saying? This is why when I watch football, I see it in a different lens. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, yo, why do teams just let a team score with a minute and 4 seconds left? Oh, let them score so we could get the ball back. What? Bro, listen, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I also think that's why, I my lens on DBs and defense but whatever, man. I'm glad I was able to share that with not just you, Kadeem, but with the listeners that rock with us, and everybody that comments on everything, bro. Like, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the fact that you guys rock with our podcast, and I'm glad I was able to share that with you, man.